Chinese and math are easy. The other my last two classes too. I kind of like Western people.
So class, when we talk about peace in Mindanao, we often jump to the violence, the insurgencies, or the headlines, but very few ask, where did it all begin? It began right here in the land, with policies, with history that one understood through law and another understood through ancestry. Now I want you to dig deeper. Don't just read about the wars or the peace talks. Go back to the stories. The Lumad elders who lost their farmlands, the Moro community who fought to protect theirs, and the Christian settlers who believed they were building the new lives in the land of promise. These three groups, the tribe people of Mindanao, are not just victims or villains. They are all part of a tangled story of survival, misunderstanding, and hope.
Mom, you mean the land conflict is just about ownership but about belonging?
Exactly. It's about belonging. Who feels they have a right to call this land home, and who decides that? Now go, class. Start your research. Understand their pain, their history, and maybe, just maybe, their path to peace.
We will protect what's ours.
We will protect what's ours.
And we will fight for the future.
We are stakeholders in our own education. We are part of a community that needs support, transparency, and
Kami, sabay-sabay! Ikulong na yan!
Ikulong na yan! Ikulong na yan!
Patayon!
Ikulong na yan!
Patayon! Social program. Ngayon, fight that.
The government must adopt a clear-cut and consistent state policy on indigenous cultural communities, defining their political rights as citizens as well as their economic and cultural rights as distinct groups.
Their struggle is not just for land, it's for dignity. For every Lumad community displaced, for every ancestral mountains taken by greed.
And what good are your policies, sir, when the same system still exploits the Lumad? How can we talk of reform when the powerful still see them as pawns?
Then tell me, what does the Lumad even want?
Do you hear yourself? That's the problem. You ask what they want, as if they're strangers in their own land.
We're distinct. We're two conflicting systems. Irresolvable.
Irresolvable? No. What they ask is simple. Genuine self-determination.
Let's start with the basic truth. The Moro people, the Lumad, their communities, they only seek recognition of who they are, their culture, their lands, their dignity.
You kids don't even know what you're talking about, even how or why peace talks began, and even why President Marcos allowed it.
Then tell us, sir, what is it that we don't know?
Listen here. The government didn't suddenly grow a conscience. No, it was cornered by three powerful forces. First, the Philippines was 95% dependent on imported oil. Most of it came from the Middle East. Every time those tankers slowed down, our entire economy shook. We couldn't move without someone else's permission. Then came the 1973 Arab-Israeli War. The Arab countries discovered the real weapon, oil. They refused to sell to any nation that supported Israel. And guess what? The Philippines was one of them. The fuel dried up. Prices shot up. And suddenly, the government was desperate, scrambling for energy. Geothermal, hydro, coal, anything. But that wasn't all. While we were running after oil, the Moro National Liberation Front made its move. They brought the Bangsamoro issue to the OIC, or the Organization of Islamic Conference. And the OIC listened. They gave the MNLF observer status. That meant the Muslim world, the oil-rich nations, were watching us very closely. So let me ask you, what choice did the Marcos have? He couldn't afford to anger the Arabs, not when the country needed their oil. That's why he agreed to talk peace, not out of sympathy, but out of strategy. The negotiations happened under the OIC, supervised and supported by them. It was a way to save face, calm the Muslim nations, and keep the oil flowing. So don't tell me it was all about goodwill. It was about survival. It was economic, political, and diplomatic. Marcos knew when to fight, but he also knows when to sit down. He made the world believe it was all his idea all along.
No, I can't stop thinking about what that old man said earlier. I really believe the peace talks were about reconciliation, about finally bringing peace to Mindanao. But the way he said it, everything felt like a strategy.
Yeah, same. When he mentioned the oil, I realized it wasn't about peace at all. It was about power. We were 95% dependent on oil, imported oil from the Middle East. Then the Arab-Israeli war happened, and suddenly the Arabs they used the oil as a weapon. They stopped exporting to countries that supported Israel, including us.
And right then, the government started panicking, right? Searching for other energy sources, hydro, geothermal, whatever they could find. And that's when Mindanao became the target for all those projects.
Exactly. And the MNLF, they took their struggle to the Organization of Islamic Conference and got recognized. The Muslim world was watching. Marcos didn't open those peace talks because of compassion. It was all politics.
You know what's weird? I thought it was just about electricity. But now, it feels so much deeper.
Yeah, energy isn't just electricity. Tribes weren't just locking them down. They were protecting their nature, their heritage. But to the government, they just want to keep the light on everywhere.
Joining us now is Dr. Gonzaga, a regional conflict analyst specializing in Southeast Asian peace and security. Dr. Gonzaga, Mindanao has long been seen as one of the most complex internal conflicts in Asia. What makes it so unique compared to others in the region?
Well, Mindanao really stands out because of the sheer complexity and the number of actors involved. While other countries in Southeast Asia have seen similar subnational conflicts, Mindanao is in many ways an extreme case. Now we're talking about at least half a dozen major non-state armed groups, not to mention dozens of local militia units. Now over time, the conflicts hasn't been just between the rebels and the government. It's evolved. You now have rivalries between local elites, political clans, and even communities themselves, all competing for influence and control.
So even with peace efforts underway, the complexity makes things difficult. How does that affect international aid efforts in the region?
Now, there is certainly a formal transition to peace process happening, yes. But the truth is, confidence among key stakeholders like the government, local leaders, and even some rebel factions remain quite low. So while they're symbolically important, it hasn't dramatically reduced violence. Now, the combination of factors here, like a protracted subnational conflict, a long and uneven peace process, and a heavy international involvement, has created a situation where there's a lot of assistance coming in, but limited measurable success in reducing conflict.
Now, you've also studied similar cases in Aceh and southern Thailand. How does Mindanao compare?
Now, all three regions have experienced prolonged subnational conflicts, now meaning armed struggles over control of local territories or greater self-rule. But Mindanao's situation is particularly intricate because of overlapping layers of contestation. Now, you have vertical conflicts, like between the state and minority groups, and horizontal ones, like rivalries among local elites or intercommunal tension. Now, often these overlap. Now, for instance, national leaders might back certain local warlords to gain influence, while those same actors might use their private armies in broader insurgency. Now, it's a tangled web of politics, identity, and survival. And that's what makes Mindanao such a challenging case for peace building.
In the late 1960s, as violence in Mindanao spread, Christian politicians and armed men formed a group, the 𝐵𝘳𝘳𝘓. 𝐵𝘳𝘓𝘓 means rat, but the Muslims had another name for it, the Ilonggo Land Grabbing Association. By 1971, violence became routine. Muslim and Christian communities turned on each other. Each town, each river, each road became a boundary of blood.
Naaman ilaga ang tawag sila.
Kay ilaga mo, hindi gid matulog. Ginbantayan permi ang duta.
On June 19, 1971, in the town of Manili, North Cotabato, 70 Muslims, men, women, and children were massacred inside a mosque where they had gathered for peace. No one was held accountable. 5 months later, in Taku, Lanao del Norte, Mindanao voters on their way home were stopped at a military checkpoint. 35 were killed on the spot, 54 were wounded, 14 soldiers were charged, and all were acquitted.
Boss, papalos ako sa makina, boss. Ngayong hapon. Hawag sa tama, sir. Pistol sa ta. Linya lang tadari, ma'am. Ayaw, linya, sir. Linya, sir. Baliw lang ang linya, sir. Di mo, sir. Dari mo, ma'am. Dari mo tubang, ma'am. Kamot. Kita na lang na to, ma'am, ha? Ikaw, ma'am. Tasang kamot, ma'am. Cellphone, wala. Mo ito sa tribal meeting, sir. Gusto ang meeting kanina, sir. Okay. Ma'am. Ma'am, wala dalang line, ma'am. Okay. Gikan mo sa meeting kanina, ma'am. Nya, mayong dagan karon, sir. Si Dato inyong kauban. Ikaw, sir. Apel po ka sa tribal meeting kanina, sir. Inspection lang ta, sir. Taas ang kamot, sir. Tara, ma'am. Wala dalang, ma'am. Na,
Ma'am. Last kamot, ma'am. Cellphone, wala. Kaya na, ma'am. Cellphone ka sa TikTok na, ma'am.
Sa plano ni sir.
Ikusan na. Unang driver.
Hindi ako bala, sir.
From North Cotabato to Lanao, from Cotabato to Zamboanga, the violence spread. Revenge became routine. Justice became impossible. Peace, they said, requires order, but in Mindanao, order came with blood.
For centuries, our people have lived by the laws of Islam, by adat, by justice, by the will of Allah. But look around you now. Our lands are taken, our faith is mocked, and our people scattered like leaves in the wind.
Dato, the government says that the integration will bring progress. Roads, schools...
Integration? Progress? They send settlers by the thousand, while our sons farm the mountains they once owned. Is that progress or slow disappearance?
Then what do we do, Dato?
We must stand as one, not as petitioners, but as a people. Today, I proclaim the formation of the Muslim independence movement. We will seek independence for our homeland, from Cotabato to Sulu, from Lanao to Palawan. Our way of life demands it. Our faith commands it.
Islam is not merely a faith. It is a way of life that must live on its own land in peace. But the Republic has built walls of titles, of laws, of silence. They call us Filipinos, but treat us as strangers.
If our dignity is to survive, we must fight, not for hatred, but for existence. If not with the sword, then with spirit. The Christians are forming militias in the towns. They call themselves Ilaga. If they move first, we'll be caught unprepared.
Father, this is a movement of peace, not blood. But peace will not come if we are unarmed.
Oh Allah, give us the path of peace. Let not this be struggle of anger, but of justice. If blood must fall, let it be last blood, not the first.
Then we fight! We fight for our land, for Allah, and for our families.
Bismillah, no retreat.
not on our soil. Allahu Akbar! Allahu Akbar! Allahu Akbar!
The Republic of the Philippines
On September 21, 1972,
martial law is not a military
President Ferdinand Marcos declared martial law, citing two threats: the Communist rebellion and the chaos in Mindanao.
which may be implemented by the military.
Peace, they said, requires order, but in Mindanao, order came with blood.
All right, class, let's unpack this. These are the transformative strategies the Asia Foundation outlined for rebuilding Mindanao. Anyone want to start? What's the general theme here? You answer.
It's like they're not just talking about peace talks anymore. They're talking about reforming the whole system: governance, economy, even the mindset of local actors.
Exactly. Transformation, not just negotiation. Now look at this figure. State minority contestation. What are they suggesting?
To support for the creation of a broad coalition of peace constituents. So they want to make peace not just a government project, but a citizen project as well.
Good. Because peace collapses when it only lives in offices. By involving civil society, CSOs, and even private sector watchdogs, they aim to create pressure for accountability and transparency. It's peace through participation. Now here's the tricky part. This is where rival clans, religious groups, and local elites clash. What's the approach?
Strengthen independent efforts to mediate between conflicting rivals. So, they're focusing on neutral monitoring, groups who can call out abuses and still be trusted by both sides.
Yes, and that's not easy. Because neutrality in Mindanao can sometimes get you in trouble. But without it, no one trusts the peace process. Now, let's move on to this next part. Transforming institutions. This is the heart of it. They're basically saying you can't have peace if your institutions are still broken.
Like the ARMM reforms?
Exactly. They suggest building capacity in the transition authority, strengthening justice and security, reforming electoral institutions, and empowering Moro youth through scholarships and leadership training. That's long-term peace building. And finally, promoting conflict-sensitive socio-economic development. Why conflict-sensitive? Why not just development?
Not all development helps peace. Like if you build a big company in a place with clan rivalries, it might make things worse.
Bingo! That's the nuance. The report says build roads, attract investors. Yes, but make sure the benefits don't deepen divisions. Mindanao doesn't need jobs. It needs trust.
So, in short, ma'am, they're saying peace isn't just about stopping guns. It's about rebuilding systems and relationships from the ground up.
Precisely. Peace is political, economic, and deeply human. Unless we understand the local realities, even the best designed aid programs won't work.
While peace talks between the Philippine government and the Moro Islamic Liberation Front mark the turning point, many say Mindanao's conflicts run deeper than religion. I am Laura Chen, your Southeast Asia correspondent, and I will be speaking with members of a civil society group working on the ground. After years of peace talks and billions in aid, people still say Mindanao hasn't really changed. From where you stand, what's missing?
It's not just about money or programs. You have to understand the local realities, the politics in every village, every barangay. Sometimes it's where the real conflict lives, and that's where aid can go wrong. Many projects never really look at who truly holds power: the clans, the militias, the mayors. So if you don't know that, you might strengthen the same forces that keep people afraid.
So even with peace agreements and development plans, people here are still navigating between forces.
Exactly. Ordinary people live between power and fear. They deal with whoever can keep them safe that day, whether it's the army, the rebels, or even the local politicians. Because when the state isn't there, survival becomes your only peace.
Mindanao is often portrayed as a Muslim-Christian conflict, but their group's research says it's more complicated than that. Can you explain?
Yes, absolutely. Now, if we look closely, the Christian areas weren't free from violence either. There were intra-Christian rivalries, especially among local elites, politicians, landowners, and businessmen, fighting for control. Now, in some provinces, it wasn't religion that caused war, but power.
The Asia Foundation's report, The Contested Corners of Asia, mentions that donor aid from the US, Japan, and others expanded here after the 1990s. Did that change anything?
Yes and no. Now, after the Americans left their bases in Luzon, aid shifted to Mindanao. Cities like General Santos and Davao got new ports, airports, and highways. But these projects often strengthened already powerful Christian plans while leaving Moro and Lumad areas behind. So, while aid was pouring in, inequality deepened.
So, aid was reinforcing the vision.
Exactly. The reports even said that most foreign programs followed Manila's National Development Plan, not local realities. Now they missed the social tensions on the ground, like, for example, in Caraga, a Christian majority region. So the communist rebellion grew stronger because indigenous peoples were displaced by mining. That's another layer of conflict often forgotten.
So, it's not just one conflict, it's overlapping ones.
Yes, you have state minority struggles, the Moro issue. Then elite rivalries among Christian politicians and communal violence. Now, when these layers collide, the Asia Foundation called it an entrenched subnational conflict system. Now, this means that peace can't come from one agreement alone. No, it will take decades and real understanding of local histories.
Son, ikaw na, Paul?
Oo, gang.
Oh, ikaw din, Paul?
Oo. Asa niya kagikan?
Ganto trabaho ko, eh. Kapay, di po ay. Yoy, saon taman nga, daghan ang pagkuk ko ginabuhi.
Iso jud ang panahon ron. Importante jud maning kamot. Kita,
Ni.
dili man ta makadiretso dali-dali kay maglisod man pud ta kay ang ato ang komunidad.
Nya, tira ko magdugay, Kul, kay magluto pa manggod ko sa balay.
Sige, gabi naman pod.
Nara ko ha, ayo-ayo diha.
Amping, ayo-ayo. Paning kamot.
Nara ko ha.
Sige.
You know, after all the hard works we did and all the hardships we faced, nanajud ta diri sa community finally. Sure ka na ready na jud ta?
Honestly, dili. Dili jud. But if we don't talk to them, our project would mean nothing.
Maayong hapon, ko, Lotte. Pasensya dahil sa mong pinakalit na pagkikita din sa inyong komunidad, no?
Sa pa ba dahil karat?
Hanap ang good bake na nung mga istorya.
Ana, iya rasad. Balik lang storya sa sama sa nasad na para nasad sa ninyo.
Dahil gusto lang kami makadungog sa inyong pinod na storya bahin sa inyong mga kaagi o inyong mga kanisod. Kaya ating muna. Kung dili ninyo i-question ang among intensyon kay maayo ra gyud ang among tumong ani na pag-isitan ninyo. Unta masabtan na ninyo. Call,
Dili man gud. Gusto istorya na ko sa inyo ha. Dili man gud gyapon ninyo masabtan. Among kalisod nga naagi. Okay. Ay na lang. Kung unsa ko istorya karon, ay lang yung kalinti. Kung unsa mahingon ako dire, pambit ninyo sa katawhan. Dili magkulang. Dili manubra. Kita na.
Okay kayo. Dagang salamat.
Walay pamafak, walay mawala. Dapat unuod lang.
Masaligan niyo ninyo anak, then go.
Tara.
I am the keeper of the memories your people try to bury. But a buried truth still breathes, still beats, still demands to be spoken. Children, what happened to us was not just violence. It was the tear-fearing of our soul. The forest was our mother, the river, our blood, the land, our memory. But when the conflict came, they treated us as we were not humans, as if our grief was small, as if our lives was disposable. We will carry your story, not as an assignment, but as a responsibility.
Boss, nahipos na.
I am honored to be selected in representing the Philippines in the International Conference on Cultural Understanding to echo the stories of the indigenous peoples in Mindanao. When you carry a story that's not yours alone, you don't get to whisper. You speak, because silence erases whole nations. When I first arrived in the Philippines as an exchange student, I thought I was just here to study.
Now let's talk about your country. In English, it's I'm
collect
from
credits,
Malaysia.
learn a
And in
culture,
Bisaya, it's
maybe
taga
try new food.
Malaysia ko. Can you try this
But the moment my class brought me to Mindanao, I realized I had stepped into something far deeper than a school program. Nothing prepared me for the weight of the stories carried by this land. Every mountain felt like it was watching, every river like it was remembering. And suddenly, I wasn't just observing a culture, I was being confronted by its history. That's when I learned that Mindanao is home to the tribe people. The Lumad, the Moro, the Christian settlers. To the Lumad, land is not property. It is identity. Sacred memory of ancestor spirit and belonging. To the Moro, land is homeland. Moro, a living testament of sovereignty, faith, and resistance. To the settlers, land became a promise, a fresh start, a place to rebuild lives and dream of a future. And standing there, a foreign student trying to understand a history that wasn't mine, I realized something powerful. The struggle was never about who arrived first. It was about who had been heard last, about whose story was finally allowed to speak. If we learn to listen, we learn to see each other beyond labels, beyond history, into humanity.
That was so good, miss. So
Hi, Miss 𝐵𝘳𝐺𝐵𝐴.
Hi, Miss Ayabi. We are inviting you to our next international conference.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, actually, I'll be in the Philippines next month.
Would you like to be one of our plenary
Yeah, I'm
speakers?
looking forward to see you again.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
sure.
We will keep in touch with you.
Okay, see you there. Yeah, okay, bye.
Mindanao, among puy-ana namong pulso, dili lang mapa, kini among gibuhi, matag higayon. Mindanao, usa ka awit, usa ka tinuod, gikan sa umangat to sa baybayon, among gisulat sa pawis, among gihulaguay sa paglao. Heya, heya, among mais miturok bisan sa tulok at tuig nga uga. Sama-samang pagpabilin, dili nang utana ug ngano. Walay dayon nga awit, apan padayon gihapon. Kaya mong mga huni mismo ang among kalibutan. Bisan unsay iyang dalon ang nga bagyo, among tingog mo liho, dili mahilo. Mindanao, among puy-ana namong pulso, dili lang mapa, kini among gibuhi, matag higayon. Mindanao, usa ka awit, usa ka tinuod, gikan sa umangat to sa baybayon, among gisulat sa pawis, among gihulaguay sa paglao. Dili kita gidaghanon para magbinahi, kita gidaghanon para magtinabangay. Ang among kalig-on dili sa bangka, kondili sa among pagtindog bisan sa kahapon. Mindanao, among puy-ana namong pulso, dili lang mapa, kini lamong gibuhi, matag higayon. Mindanao, usa ka awit, usa ka tinuod, gikan sa umangat to sa baybayon, among gisulat sa pawis, among gihulaguay sa paglao.